Welcome to Alert Tales, where we dive deep into the most gripping stories of real-life experiences. If you love tales that evoke emotion, spark conversation and connect us all, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community for more captivating stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. My husband just posted about how much he despises me. He thought a throwaway account would be enough to cover his tracks, but the coincidences are too specific. 15 years of marriage, a wife with cancer, 5 children he resents, the pig farm I supposedly trapped him into. An architect, him reduced to slumming it in the muck. It's laughable, really, how little he knows me and how much he underestimates me. Of course, I recognize his words. I've lived under their weight for 15 years. And yet, I can't stop asking myself, why am I so scared of dying? What exactly am I afraid of missing? Cooking his meals, scrubbing his shirts, listening to my children scream and cry while their father sulks in some corner, too drunk or detached to care. My death would be less of a tragedy to him than missing a football game, and I'm not exaggerating. What will I miss? The constant grinding exhaustion of existence with a man who has never loved me, who only seeks to control me, 5 children I adore but cannot raise alone. Yes, he made certain of that. Denying me the chance to work, tying me to his world with pregnancies I didn't ask for, choices I didn't make. He crafted the perfect prison, and I walked willingly into it. Why did I stay? That question haunts me. Why did I stay after the cheating, after the lies? Why did I stay when he fathered a child with another woman and expected me to forgive him? Why did I stay as his family whispered about how perfect he was, how lucky I was to have a husband who doesn't beat me or use drugs? A saint in their eyes, even as he sneaks off with groceries to his mistress and her bastard child. What if it had been me? What if I'd made one mistake? Fucked another man and had his child? Would they excuse me as easily? Would they say, oh, she's just a woman, they don't cheat the way men do? Of course not. My sin would be unforgivable. But his? It's just part of being a man. 15 years. He doesn't know my favorite book, my favorite movie, not even my favorite color. He couldn't name a single dream of mine or a single fear that keeps me awake at night, because he's never asked. He's never wanted to know. God forbid I speak about my cancer, about my fear of dying and leaving my children behind. He hates when I bring it up. Too uncomfortable, too inconvenient. His discomfort matters more than my terror. Stop it, he says. Shut up and get over it. I want to cry. I want someone, anyone, to hold me while I sob, to tell me that it's going to be okay, even if it's a lie. But the only person who ever truly understood me is dead. A fellow cancer patient, my best friend. When I found out he was gone, I sobbed alone in the bedroom. And when I told my husband, he exploded, jealous. He was jealous of a dying man because to him friendship can only lead to infidelity. A woman's life in his mind must orbit her husband. Ungrateful, that's what he calls me. I should be grateful for the house, the food, the trip to Paris he bought me as penance for his infidelity, and yet all I want is to not feel so desperately unhappy. He blames me for everything, his financial problems, my fault, though he forbade me from working, my anger, my fault, I'm just being a bitch. His anger, my fault, I'm too much of a bitch. His cheating, also my fault, I wasn't a good enough wife. Every failure, every wound somehow is traced back to me. I wanted to leave once. I felt the first tremors of hatred years ago, but I told myself it was pregnancy hormones. Later I blamed the depression, the stress of raising 5 children, but now I can't deny it anymore. The hatred is all-consuming, a constant thrum beneath my skin. The only moments of peace are when we're with friends, when he plays the role of the perfect husband in public. Or when my antidepressants dull the edges of reality just enough to make this bearable. I wanted a husband who'd sing karaoke with me. Not to show off in front of my friends, but just the two of us, laughing and letting go. We've never done it, not even once. He doesn't see me, doesn't hear me, doesn't care. Maybe it's for the best. Maybe it's good that my life is so bland, so hollow. If the cancer takes me, I won't be leaving much behind. I, 15, found out my older sister is actually my biological mother. Hey, I'm new to using Reddit, so please bear with me here. Anyways, 3 months ago I found out that the woman I've always known as my older sister is actually my biological mum. I've been raised by my grandmother, who I always thought was my real mum. Lately, my sister, who's 28, reached out and suggested I come live with her. She wants to readopt me and take legal custody. Fortunately, that wouldn't happen until later next year, so I still have a reasonable amount of time to really consider my options and make my decision. The issue is that she's in her 3rd year of orthopedic surgery residency and works roughly 60 to 75 hours a week. I care about her a lot, and we've always had a close relationship, talking a few times a week for over an hour each time. But I'm worried she won't have the time or emotional energy to give me the kind of support I need, especially with her demanding schedule. At the same time, my relationship with my grandmother is complicated. She's very controlling and strict, and over the years I've realized she can be manipulative. She's also been a bit emotionally abusive at times, gaslighting me and playing the victim card, especially if I try to bring up our complicated family dynamics. All she seems to do is deflect my questions by twisting the narrative, making herself look like the victim by trying to guilt-trip me. It's exhausting. I've spent my whole life with her, but it's not an ideal environment. She and my mom have had a strained relationship since I can remember. My mom was kicked out of the house when she was 18, and there's a lot of resentment there, especially because of how my grandmother has treated her over the years. On top of that, my grandmother lied to me for my whole life and made me believe my real mum was my sister. That betrayal has really messed with my trust in her, so now I'm really conflicted. I love my grandmother, but I feel like I'm stuck in a toxic situation. Moving in with my mum would be a huge change, and I'm not sure if it would be the best decision for me. My mum has her own issues, and I'm not sure if she's ready to take on the responsibility of raising me, considering her crazy work schedule and everything she's been through with my grandmother. I'm just so lost and confused about what the right move is. I don't want to make a decision I'll regret. Has anyone been through something like this? What should I consider when making a decision like this? Any advice would really help. Breaking up on Sunday. I've been dating the same guy for 5 years now. 1 year into dating, he quit his job due to COVID after we moved in together. He had some savings, but since then, I've been paying everything. I've been begging him to get a job for the past 1.5 years to help me because I've slowly fallen further and further into debt. We've been 2 months behind on every bill, including the rent. Every month, our internet gets shut off because we're so behind. I started telling him I literally can't pay these things anymore. All of my cards are maxed and my parents have already spotted me around 3,000 to just keep from drowning. 4 months ago, I found out he was cheating on me. I told him to get a job or get out, but didn't tell him I knew about the cheating. He finally gets a job and has paid me back around 3,000. I'm finally caught up on rent and should be able to fully pay the bills from my next paycheck, and if I pick up another part-time gig, I should be able to pay my debt down slowly. I'm working all weekend, and on Sunday I'll be letting him know he needs to pack his bags and leave. Thankfully, I'm the only one on the lease. If he refuses to leave, I'm calling his parents to come pick him up. All of my friends are really his friends, so I can't tell anyone, but I'm so excited to finally get this parasite out of my life. I've looked back on several aspects of my life and realized he slowly had me cut off my own friends, only wanted a bang maid, and is a giant gaslighting air balloon of selfishness. Fuck you, John! You've turned me into a miserable person, but I've finally mustered up enough love for myself to get out.